Yeah, broken leg.
Okay, sorry, Marlo. We'll get you to the hospital after this. All right, priorities.
I'll probably just start off by saying this is definitely, this is my point of view of what Hazel told me about his situation. This is obviously not like whatever CG's opinion is of the story. Like, I don't know exactly what went on between those two, the conversations they had, or like the way they spoke. I just know based off of what he told me the situation. So it started off basically with the whole P&Y card situation. Hazel had a group of people and he was telling them that they needed to make sure that they weren't lowballing the prices for the P&Y cards, and setting the price at, I think it was like 10 or 15K, something like that.
Who picked the original 10 to 15K? It's just like a decided amongst number that the G6 people picked?
Yeah. It was just like, I feel like that's a reasonable thing. You know, if something is rare and you have the capacity to set the number for it, I mean, if you can make money off of it, it's just business, you know?
Yeah.
So then word got around to CG that he was setting the price, even though technically he really wasn't. He did have the conversation with a group of people, and I think one of those people is one of the ones that works with CG and provides them the cards.
Do we know who that is?
No.
Okay.
So word got around to CG, and they then started going after Hazel in regards to why he is setting the price, because my assumption is they were trying to get into the bank and kept messing up and burning through their cards, therefore burning through, you know, $10,000 per card of whatever they were obtaining. I don't know how many they would take inside the bank. So they were losing money constantly because they weren't able to get in. So at that point, they were frustrated with what they were doing in the bank, and also taking it out on Hazel because they heard that he was the one setting the prices.
But he wasn't. And he told them that?
My assumption is he did. I obviously don't know if he did have that conversation with them. I would assume he did. But he did mention he did talk to a couple people in Group 6 about it, you know, so they were aware of that. It wasn't like a whole, what he told me is that they thought it was a whole massive Group 6 like meeting, and he told everybody not to sell for lower, you know. At the same time, and this is me being honest to you, knowing that you are well CG and you don't even know Hazel that well, a lot of a lot of Group 6 people have been getting robbed constantly from CG.
Yeah.
At that point, when we're constantly being robbed by a gang, we lose the respect. We don't feel the need to want to sell to them anyways. Because why would we sell to people who are constantly shitting on us, you know?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So then they got really mad at Hazel over that whole situation. They planted a PD gun on him, weed, dirty money, and told him to shoot at a local. So it looked like he had his fingerprint on the gun. And Hazel shot at the local, who he said was already dead on the ground, and then quickly turned around and shot Mr. K.
Oh,
he was surrounded by CG at that moment. So then Hazel was found later on, and Mr. K's blood was also found on the scene.
When was this?
This was, I believe, a week or two ago.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks ago.
God damn.
So after that,
so there's been sorry, carry on. Yes.
Yeah,
it's going on like 6 months. I mean, it goes back from the hunting days when he'd get.
Yeah, they constantly call him a snitch. I think there's no way of repairing that relationship with them. I think it's more so there's no need to repair it. What's already completely broken, and nothing's gonna happen. Once trust is broken, it's done. You know, I know the way things work in the city, and once you're labeled a snitch, no one will view you any other way.
Yeah. Listen. Okay, so let me talk through my thoughts. I feel like it's really clear in my mind, but so I don't fully agree with obviously like I didn't know that CG was just I kind of did know that CG was robbing G6, because I won't lie, one time I was in with them and I did it, and I didn't do it again because it was Kitty and it was and I fucked up. But you know, I've kept my distance in terms of they can do what they want to do, and if they want to rob G6 workers, I I haven't told them not to. I haven't, you know, I know maybe that's something that I could have done to help. But so I understand Hazel being frustrated and not caving to them. I think he's an idiot for trying to take them out by himself. I think he's an idiot for shooting Mr. K.
I don't think he wanted to take them out on his own. I think he just wanted to get their blood on the scene.
Sure, but like that's still putting them like that's
because
just putting more of a target
on the
on
back of his head and said, "Shoot this local." Regardless, he was going down.
I think
Are you talking like metaphorically, or are you talking about that specific instance?
Wait, sorry. Say that again.
Like,
Metaphorically.
are you talking about like in general, like him trying to take on CG?
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
whole,
yeah, yeah. As a
I
whole.
think that's just talking, not that specific.
That instance
situation
is you know, an example of it happening, but I think, you know, as a whole, it sounds like he's trying to just like by himself. It's like him by himself, right? Going in against them.
People reach a point where a breaking point when they've been shitted on constantly, where they just he snapped. And like after everything that's been happening to him, I can understand why someone would snap in a situation like that. I know a lot of people logically wouldn't respond in a certain way, but for Hazel, with everything that has been happening to him these past couple of months, like, it's understandable. It's stupid, I agree, but I get it.
Yeah, but in the city,
end
stupid
of the day,
means
like it's been really funny for us as Group 6 workers to see people that are constantly trying to rob us and then coming to us the day after and begging for P&Y cards, offering favors, saying, "Hey, we won't rob you. Hey, we won't."
She's
do
making
this.
sense.
Well, and like we all know that the second that a P&Y card isn't necessary, they're gonna turn around and continue to do what they're gonna do.
No,
the same kind of mentality. Like, I understand the gang life. I understand the way the city works. It's one day they say something, the other day it changes.
No, I understand. Like I would do the same thing if I was getting shit on by someone and then all of a sudden they need my help, right? I'm not going to help them. But what I do think it's stupid for Hazel to go like to kind of just challenge them by himself, because at this point he's not going to win. He's not going to win. So he's just putting now my issue now is that not only is it kind of like I'm stuck between this situation. First of all, Hazel didn't even know that me and Raymond are even affiliated with CG. Like,
I think he is aware.
Why would he move in with us if he was aware? That just spells
why would Gigi continue to live here if she knew she was in the manor and her?
I mean, it's caused issues.
Constantly,
it's caused issues, right? Like Gigi being here has we are so
but
I don't see her nearly as much.
Herself. You and Ray are the type of people that love genuinely being around people and are very like charismatic, and you guys are so positive. You exude light. Like, there's no reason why nobody would not want to surround themselves around you.
I and I love being with you guys. Like I would actively want to be around you guys, but that's why the Hazel poses an issue for us, because, well, I'm assuming Raymond is going to think similar to me, but like obviously I haven't talked to her. But his presence here, if he does not fuck with CG at all, that's just like there's a tension there. Like, it's constantly like it's gonna bring up issues like this more and more and more. This is just the first time we're hearing about it, and he had to lose his leg for us to hear about this.
He kept his distance. It wasn't until they became reactionary that he had to also switch up at that point. This is, again, from what he's told me. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what happened, but from the conversations I've had with him, it's been them coming to him every single time, and then he has to react.
But I feel like it's the way he's reacting that's probably.
But anybody would react.
Anyone would react, but not the way he reacts.
He's an extremely emotional person, and he's extremely hot-headed. Yeah. And I agree with you that it is an issue. But if you as a person have been constantly shitted on, there comes a point where, like, he's standing up for himself for the first time that he never. And yes, he's fucking himself up, and he's starting to get, like, the situation is worsening. I completely get it. I see both point of views. But end of the day, like, I feel like he chose to do what he wanted to do to help himself out.
And yeah.
And then the reason they put the gun and everything on him was to try to get a felony on him so that he could not work G6 anymore. Once you get a felony with Group 6, you're not allowed to work anymore.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then this time around, he had a conversation with someone this morning in Group 6 who he believed was a snitch that was talking to quote unquote snitch, because again, I don't know. He had a conversation with someone at Group 6 who was a neighbor of CG, and he was telling them, I know it was fucking you. He was very heated. And again, I also thought it was very disrespectful the way the conversation was going. I don't handle myself in my conversations like that. If I have an issue with someone, having a simple conversation goes a long way without having to disrespect them. And the fact that this happened afterwards kind of confirms that that could have been that person. The doctors basically said that he was found with a tie around his neck, like a
Hazel?
like a noose, a rope, and he was put on the train tracks.
Hazel was.
So someone deliberately put him on there, and the fact that there was a bunch of CG people outside of the doors.
No, Tugs admitted it. He said
Yeah. They also confirmed it, and also said that they were taking notes of every single person that was walking into that ICU room, and they're people that they're going to be hurting unless they get 3 PNY cards by Wednesday.
That's the problem. Like, so
they could easily go and buy cards from people, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're targeting one person.
Yes, but like, that's the thing. It's CG. They're going to act a certain way. And my issue now is that because Hazel, like, he's going to be hot-headed, you said, right? He's a liability. Like, he's now, because of him, my friends, you guys, my roommates, my best friends, my sisters are all worried they're going to get shot up in the next week, right? I'm going to make sure that does not happen. But
I mean, it's what he just said on the phone to me.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that Hazel is the problem for me. Him being hot-headed, and when he's willing to just, like, he's willing to try and take on CG by himself, which is what, like I said, idiotic, okay? Now the damage, right? It's you guys.
But and I get the way that you're viewing things because you are from CG, and I would not expect anything different from you. I love the fact that you're standing your ground, but from a person that is completely outside, I'm not CG. I'm like really good friends with Hazel, but I can see his point of view. I can see your point of view, and honestly, I feel like the whole situation as a whole has gotten out of hand.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's everybody's fault. It's not one person directly that's an issue. Agreed. Hazel's acting really bad. He's overreacting in situations and taking it too far, but at the same time, they've done the exact same thing.
I'm not saying they haven't. I'm not saying what CG has done to Hazel is right. I'm just saying what they've done is in line with what they've always done. And so knowing that and still doing what he's doing is where, like, now he does that, and now,
so,
you know what I mean? Like,
the issue is this will happen
again and again.
But it'll go 2 weeks, and then they target him is the issue. It's not like Hazel puts himself in the situation where he has to do this. You
didn't hear him at G6 earlier. He was.
Yeah, I know.
At that point, that's why I said he overextended, because at that point he's becoming reactionary and causing this to happen. But the issue is the way CG
I do think both sides are valid. I'm
regardless if
Leslie,
they get something or not. And by
love
Wednesday,
Elle's points.
They will continue to do this. It's going to be a constant cycle because it's been happening to him for 6 months. And you're right. It is a gang, and that's the way they handle things. But at what point does it stop? At what point what point does Hazel stop being so reactionary and causing things to escalate? And at what point are they done? What point are they going to be
Hazel
okay?
Hazel can act that way. He can totally act that way, but just not while he lives here. Not while the people coming to visit him are us. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but this has been happening before, though. That's what I'm saying.
Why does he move in then?
That is a conversation you need to have with Hazel, because I only know so much.
I know. Yeah, I want to talk to him,
and I know his point of view, of course.
It's not me attacking you.
I love seeing. I am so good at understanding people's point of views. That's why I understand where you're coming from, April. I completely do. And I knew having this conversation with you, and even having a conversation with Ray about this, like, you guys are being put against the wall. You're living with people, and even though you don't know Hazel that well, you're living with people here that are also being, like, threatened. We all work at Group 6. At any point, it could just transfer to it being one of us. They've robbed all of us, but that, again, that is gang life. We get it. We know we're going to be robbed at times. It's part of the job. It's part of living in the city if we're not in a gang.
I should have brought it up earlier too, but like, Hazel was kicked out of the besties before he was with us, and for me, as like, it's a red flag if a group of people you're with, like, kicks you out, like singles you out and kicks you out. I didn't ask, you know, Fanny what the story was. I didn't, except that he was kind of doing the same business as her or something like that. But I didn't talk to Hazel about it either. And I just was like, you know what? If you guys, my new roommates, my sisters, all fuck with Hazel, then sure, come on in, you know. But now his presence poses a serious issue to all of us.
That situation with Fanny, though, was very unfortunate because she made him choose between, it was like a hypothetical, you know, like if I were a worm, would you love me kind of situation. She said if he had to choose between killing Kitty or saving Kitty or Fanny, who would he choose? And he said Kitty because that's his sister, like his actual sister. And she got pissed off, and that's when that whole thing escalated. That's
why they kicked him out?
It was the beginning of, So that's what I'm saying. That situation isn't a really good
mistrust, which then felt like if he does money stuff, he's probably imposing on her business.
Yeah.
Whether or not he was, she just lost trust for him after hearing that. That's how I heard it. Which is teach their own. That's how you lose trust. That's completely fine.
The situation I feel like doesn't transfer over to this one.
We can be so dramatic about this.
It's just very complicated.
Me or Hazel?
I feel like even having a conversation at this point won't really go anywhere right now. Everybody's very heated. I feel like right now I do feel like specifically Max, Kitty, and I are in danger because we do group 6 and they saw us walk in there. And I'm very protective of the people that I care about.
Well, why don't you guys lay off of G6 for a sec until we talk to Hazel, and then maybe I can talk to
April. You don't get it. You don't get it. If we lay off of group 6, no one is getting P and Y cards.
There's always gonna be somebody doing group 6.
Yeah, but we're top people. We have to be able to try to get the cards. If anything, it will prevent us from getting hurt on Wednesday or Hazel getting hurt. Like at this point, I'm just gonna grind nonstop.
Oh shit. No, yeah, I get it. No, I understand.
Because they're telling him he needs 3 cards by Wednesday. If we're not working, how are we gonna get the 3 cards?
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know how to feel because Hazel, like for me, my solution to this is I disassociate and disaffiliate with Hazel. Like he's out. You know what I mean? I want to put it to a vote. Like I want to kick him out of the house. That's how I feel. But I understand because you and Emmy and you know, a lot of people, right, in the house, Kitty, right? You're all friends with him. You guys are the ones who brought him in. So I get it. But for me, it's just not worth the risk, right? But that makes sense because of course he's not worth the risk to me. So, but you know, I don't know. It's just, that's how I feel.
It's definitely a tough situation for you. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, you and Ray are definitely put like in a tough place right now.
Like his decisions should, you know, he should be the one just paying for it. Like, in my opinion. But now
it's not his. Like if it was his choice though, right? He probably would.
Well, I think he should just, you know, I think the smart thing is just say like, you know, like just apologize. And I know that sounds bad because for you guys have been berated by them.
Bring in the whole group and talk it
maybe
all
that,
over.
maybe we do that, and then you know, we have a big one. All of us, we bring in Mr. K, we bring in the whole gang, and we all.
Well, I feel like we should have a conversation with the house first.
Sorry, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to imagine that, and that would be really funny.
I don't know if there's any mending that relationship.
I also don't.
That will never happen. That will never happen. That's a terrible idea.
Ultimately, I don't think they give a fuck. They want their get back, and that's fine. Hazel,
well, the thing is, he's been handling it on his own up until they threatened to bring in other people. He hasn't involved anybody else. He's been doing all of this on his own.
Drama.
Everything that's been happening to him, he's done, and he's just taken it. But at this point, they started mentioning bringing in people that walked into that hospital room. So.
Okay. Well, maybe we wait till Hazel's out, and we talk to him, and we talk with the house. Maybe when Raymond's around too.
Yeah,
and then we can.
Best. I just hope I was able to say things properly.
You did. I understand your point of view as well. Like I know I was like getting a little heated there, but I fully understand. Like
I get why I get it.
It's a difficult situation altogether.
It really is. It really is.
It was bound to
I
happen.
remember we live 3 doors down from CG. And they come over and visit us very frequently.
Hazel, sorry about your leg. Please leave the house immediately. No, like this really was bound to happen. You know, it really was. But it's fine. You know, it's like this will bring us closer together. You got to see the clip of Hazel on the train.
I think we're already a pretty good close group.
No, I agree, but like, you know, going through problems and working it out. Yeah. I just don't want anyone to get hurt in the process, because then, you know, that's like, I'm trying to think of a situation, and I don't want to think about it, but I'm just imagining getting a fucking phone call and you know, half my roommates are shot down by CG and I'm going to the fucking hospital and you're all in the ICU. Like, at what point, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'd do. Oh, no, I do.
How do you feel about the whole situation?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides like what I've said, in context to what?
Like as a whole.
I mean, I've kind of said it, right? I wish Ray was here to the one person who I feel like could really understand what I'm thinking, or maybe she just needs to talk some sense into me, and maybe she has completely different thoughts. I don't know. I just really wish I could talk to her about it, and then that one. 2, I had pretty neutral, slightly positive feelings about Hazel before this, and I just think he's a liability. That's the biggest thing. Is like he's already the kind of person that lacks the amount of that lacks judgment to the fact that he would go shoot Mr. K and try and, you know, and I understand, you know, the reasons why he might do that, but I think any person's sound of mind would not respond in that way. Like, they might respond negatively, but like the level he has, you know, tried to take that on, I don't think is what I want in a roommate. I don't think it's safe for any of us, and just gonna more conflict with CG, which the last thing I want is my house, you know. Yeah, that and 3, I just care about the safety of you guys and my sisters, and that's it. And so obviously Hazel brings his presence is the number 1 threat to that. And so that's why I'm pushing for him to leave. And but I get it. It's not my, like, I can't solely kick him out. But and then that leads me to, I want to hear his side directly from him.
So with the whole, like, shooting Mr. K, he was planted a gun on him, like dirty money, and I think like weed is what Kitty told me, and told to shoot a local, that way his fingerprints were on it. So he was facing like one direction, and he had a bunch of CG members around him, like with guns pointed at him. So he shot the local, and then at that second he
CG has no
turned around really quickly to shoot Mr. K, to get his blood on the scene and stuff like that. So it wasn't that he went out there just to shoot
No,
Mr.
I agree.
K.
I agree. Yeah.
So I mean,
they're crazy.
And look at fuck with Hazel. Love him like a brother, but
they're so crazy.
Back in the a month ago,
April and Ray like kind of
however long ago
irrationally
it was,
defend
he was
CG. If you haven't
hunted and
noticed,
getting robbed
like
by
they are
them
clearly
every day.
like they do some fucked up shit, right?
He still is the same.
It's in their
person.
character
He
a bit
said
to
then that he's gonna go after them by himself.
defend them in a way
I don't
that,
know if that's ever gonna change
you know.
in him. Even if they weren't threatening people here, if they do know he lives here, like they could fucking do a drive-by on the fucking house, and who knows who's inside, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily matter if they're saying they're gonna go after people or if other people are collateral damage. I do see where she's coming from, where it is still putting other people at risk if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, they are a gang. It's obvious that like that's the way they do things, and they've always been known to do things like that. It's pretty obvious. I feel like even though I have a conversation with Hazel about it, and you could maybe have a conversation with CG about it, because we weren't there, any story can be twisted, you know, into someone's favor.
True.
So that's the only issue here, is that everybody is being told things and no one will actually know the real thing except for them.
Well, I think in the meantime, you guys go get those PNY cards. Just to get to the grind, you know what I mean? Just to be safe.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, we can't not work because we have to try to get it.
Okay.
I mean, I've never been robbing them while doing G6 so far. I don't know if they're actively still robbing G6 or not.
Get to work.
Yeah, I saw them pull up on a truck yesterday, but it was already empty. No, it's already empty.
All right.
Now.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, Queenie said, that's part of the job.
Yeah, I mean, you get robbed, you cancel the job, you start again. It's no sweat for
personal
back.
business.
Yeah, you're a civilian there again.
It is personal a little bit when it's Hazel, but
I think we're just trying to make sense of a situation that doesn't make any sense.
I did give them a card yesterday. I hope you guys don't mind.
I mean, it's your choice.
All right. Right. So, okay.
This whole conversation is gonna have to be repeated again once we have.
I know. That's why
I should have recorded it.
I mean, no.
We should have recorded it.
Yeah,
is that thing on, Max? Is that thing recording on?
Yeah, surely the camera's recording. We can just send the footage over, right?
The camera's in here.
Yeah.
Especially
in the bedroom.
Hell no.
What?
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, hey, maybe we just need a little breather. It might be a bad time to ask this. Is Hazel going to be competing in the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament?
Yeah.
Is he still making it?
I mean, I don't know. He's the favorite to win and all. But like,
wait, isn't Rami part of it?
Yeah. Yeah, that should be interesting. Well, Rami won't be in the final, so don't worry about that.
Wait, should we go try to figure out your outfit?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe we cool down.
Right?
We go back to this. Yeah, I got you, Marla.
I'm not heated. I'm just trying to like. It's hard to make sense out of this whole situation.
Agreed.
And try to like say it properly because again, it's just half of the story.